There are lawyers who jump at every opportunity to go to trial. Many times, it is because they are trying to acquire experience. Unfortunately, it may come at your expense. This frequently, though not exclusively, happens with public defenders or newbies who think it's okay to learn the ropes while sticking your neck on the line, not theirs. At the other extreme are lawyers who are loath to ever go to trial. This too can be foolish because you may be foregoing a great chance to challenge what is essentially a weak and fragile case, particularly where the stakes are not very high and the chances of you being incarcerated are slim to none even if you are convicted at trial. Before deciding to go to trial on your case, you and your attorney must sit down and decide whether it's worth the risk. Is it a calculated risk or is it a foolish gamble? It depends on the case. So it's worth noting some pros and cons of going to trial. Some of the pros include the possibility of getting a total acquittal of your case, which means avoiding having a conviction on your criminal record. You should note that I am carefully selecting my choice of words here. I use the word possibility rather than probability because it is rarely likely or probable that criminal defendants will win at trial. And so we go into the cons. The truth of the matter is that many jurors, unfortunately, are inherently biased against criminal defendants and assume that where there's smoke, there's fire. That if you are being charged with a crime, it's probably because you're guilty and that you are just putting on a dog and pony show to bamboozle them otherwise. Unfortunately, controversial acquittals in certain high-profile cases only add to this concern. This kind of prejudice is pervasive and widespread, and it results in the vast majority of criminal trials ending up in guilty verdicts. Sometimes your attorney may be able to disabuse jurors of this bias, and sometimes not. Given the high percentage of guilty verdicts, you may want to consider whether the likelihood of a conviction and incarceration is worth the roll of the dice that trial often can be. Every case is different. I am a skilled criminal defense litigator who has been very successful at trial. But we do need to evaluate your case thoroughly and look at all the available evidence to see whether it is worth the risk, whether trial will be a foolhardy gamble or a wise decision carrying an acceptable level of risk.